When when your frontal lobe actually did develop for real? When you stop needing to post things on social media to prove that you did cool shit. Or if you looked really good one day and you didn't need to post it to your story and you hung out with the coolest group of people, but you were having so much fun in conversation and laughter that you totally forgot to take a picture, so there's no evidence of it. Or you went on the best vacation and you don't have this need to have to prove to people that you did really cool things. There's nothing wrong with posting a picture, but when you don't have that need anymore, you have reached maturity. And also life is just so much better.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
What are 5 ways you can practice maturity as an adult? Buy your gas in the evening on the way home so that you don't have to buy it in the morning when you have to go to work. You know good and well you're not going to wake up early. Something's going to happen. You're going to be speeding. You're going to get road rage. Everybody's going to seem to be driving slow when everybody's just following the speed limit. Just buy your gas. Put the clean laundry away as soon as you get it done. You know if that you don't put it away, it's just going to sit in a pile and you're just going to be picking from it every day. Work out in the morning when you have plans for the rest of the day. You know good and well that after you go and have fun, chill with your friends, you are not about to work out in the evening. Don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Every time you go grocery shopping when you're hungry, you end up buying things you don't need and eating in the store and just packing in all these extra calories you don't need. Unpack as soon as you get home from vacay. Them clothes will sit there for days and weeks if you don't unpack them.
As you get older and start maturing a little bit, you start realizing some things. Here's you guys 5 things that as I've gotten older, I believe are cool or I just don't give a damn about. Number 5, minivans. Minivans are fucking awesome. We don't have one. I have an Explorer and Pathfinder, but I want a minivan. Say what you want, but there ain't many vehicles out here where the middle seats recline back and you prop your legs up and you can watch television in it. Practicality. Number 4, you start taking better care of yourself. You know that song by Tim McGraw, My Next 30 Years? Yeah, I feel you, dog. When I was younger, I'm talking elementary through middle school, I was at the skate park literally every day after school. The only thing you're going to catch me doing on a skateboard now is cruising, because when I wake up in the morning and my knees pop when I get up out of bed, I know it's going to be a problem later. Number 3, you start paying attention to your lawn. Especially being a homeowner, I like a nice clean cut lawn. Now, I'm not going to go overboard with it. I want it to look like turf, and I'm not spending every waking minute I can looking at my grass. But I appreciate it. Number 2, I'm a lot more nosy than I used to be. Used to, I didn't care who you was, what your job is, who your mama is, hoot nanny. Now, when my wife comes in and starts telling me the tea from work, I'm like, she said what? He's sleeping with who? She said that to you? I'm all about it with a cup of coffee. Number 1, I am more interested in things that I never thought in a million years I'd be interested in, like washing machines, vacuum cleaners, appliances of all sorts. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I'm telling y'all what, I got a Speed Queen washer and dryer, and I guarantee you I've told everybody in a 50-mile radius about it. Man, that's the best washer and dryer I've ever had. You start understanding your parents the older you get, and why the little shit we used to do as kids aggravated them so much. Getting older doesn't suck. It's actually kind of fun.
I moved to New York 2 months ago, and I love it here, but I know I posted about being a villain, going out, doing stupid things, getting like really drunk and just being like an idiot. And I just like had a lot of time to self-reflect, and that's definitely not the person I want to portray on social media or at all in real life. I have to say that I've had a really hard time with my work-life balance, and I kind of hit a point now where I've realized there are so many more important things than going out and like just being an idiot. It's been a really, really big wake-up call for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for going out and having a good time and like having a few drinks, but having moderation and really healthy balance in your mid-20s is so important. Being in your 20s is hard enough as it is, and I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace because I'm my harshest critic. But there comes a point in time where there are more important things like your career, who you want to be. And yeah, I mean, I've just definitely had a lot to reflect on. And I want you guys to look at me as like somebody who's respectable and, you know, an influencer that has a job outside of influencing. And I am really happy that I'm able to open up about this because it's a really important life lesson. And it's not easy to be vulnerable and like share this with the whole world. It takes years and years and years to build your career and seconds to ruin. If there's anything that I have taken away from this is that I really need to start holding myself more accountable. I need to start being, have a healthier work-life balance. And like, you need to be an adult. I need to be an adult. So I really hope this reaches the right people because, the social scene will always be there, but these opportunities in life to make something of yourself won't always be there. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Self-reflecting a lot. So hope this helps.
I didn't come on here to say anything, but being an adult is ghetto. Being mature is ghetto. Fucking paying bills is ghetto. Going to therapy is amazing. I just had a great session. But, that's not ghetto. That's needed. Go to therapy.
One thing that I've always struggled with, especially now that I'm older, is thinking that I need to have an opinion on everything. That is so far from the truth. You don't need to have an opinion on everything. If someone asks you a question, you can simply say, I don't know. I don't have enough information to have an opinion on that. That's okay. You know what else is also okay? To change your mind. It's not being a flip-flopper. If you gather more information on a topic and that makes you change your perspective and your point of view, good to you. That shows maturity. Those are the people you should trust. The ones that make their decision off of the information that they were given and not just based off of what is the cool thing, what's the in thing to do, or what other people are telling them they should think. The ones that use their own head and the facts. You don't always have to have an opinion, especially on matters that you know nothing about.
Shouldn't be sitting around taking score on how many times somebody called us or who texted first or who called first. I think that's very childish and that's very immature. If you want to call your man or your woman, pick up the phone. If you want to text your man or your woman, pick up the phone. Let's stop doing all that childish tit for tat stuff. What happened to just the thought of me thinking about you? Every chance I get, I'm going to contact you, see how you doing, see how your day going, see how you feeling. Oh, I miss my baby. I can't wait to see you. Huh? When that's going to come back in style? when that's going to be cool again? For you to love on your mate forever. For you to have butterflies in your stomach forever.
The reason why people struggle in adult friendships is because they're not treating them like adult friendships. I used to be one of those girls that felt like I used to have to talk to my friends all the time, like a certain amount of time within a week, maybe month, even a couple of months. And I'm so happy I matured out of that because honestly, we are all at an age where we are in our careers, we have spouses, some even with kids. And then we got other things outside of that going on. So expecting to hear from a friend all the time or hanging out with that friend all the time, it's just not realistic. I feel like true friendship is the friendship that withstand time and distance. Because honestly, as long as you could come back with that friend and it's like nothing ever changed, that's all that matters. Let's not personalize things because that's a big issue too. People personalize things and they make it about themselves when it has nothing to do with you. But now that we older, we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things to tend to outside of our daggone friends. And that's okay. That's okay.
Y'all, I know puberty was hard, but don't nobody talk to you about that 30s hard, like that turning 30 to early 30s, like that stage is neck and neck with puberty. My body's changing again. I'm not dealing with acne particularly, but I'm dealing with my skin like being different, like mature. I'm dealing with a whole new shift of friends, new friends. Life changes. And it's difficult. It's difficult to know that you're changing, to see it happening, and to not quite know where it's going. And also to like have to mourn the old way that you used to define yourself. All the things that you used to say, oh, this is me. I have these hobbies. I have these dreams. I have these friends. I have this job. I have this level of education. And I'm also back in school. So that's why that's relevant. It's just different. Anyway, all that to say, that's why I don't be posting on here that much. Because I feel like I like to show up like myself. But right now, I don't know who I am. I'm figuring out who I am again. And I can't do that being hyper visible online. And this is just for the people that care. Some people don't care. But I care. So I'm just sharing. Okay, bye.
Some people are afraid to age, but I'm not. I'm ready.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, once they turn 25, they start shaking in their boots. I'm not shaking. And if I am shaking, I'm shaking with excitement, not with fear. I'm working on getting my last little stamp of being grown as fuck. My last little stamp, I got my degree, I have a job, I have a car that's paid off. Only thing I'm paying for is insurance. You know what I'm saying? All I need is my own place. I've had roommates before, but I've never had my own place. And I'm going to have it before the year's over. And once that happened, I don't give a fuck how anybody feel about my age, bitch. I'm sexy and grown. I'm about to be a whole different woman once I get that last little achievement badge. That's it, bro. I'm moving with delusion and sheer determination, okay? I'm getting my money right. Once I get my money right, I get my own place. Once I get my own place, I get more money. Once I get more money, I'm about to start traveling. Once I travel, I'm about to be a whole different person now. Because this me you're seeing right now is a me that's never been outside the country. When I get outside the country, once I see that America ain't all that it is, it's over.
One of the toughest pills to swallow about being an adult is when everybody grows up, graduates college, and then there's that period of time where everybody starts to go their separate ways. I'm not talking about when people get engaged, get married, because when all that happens, you're still attending each other's weddings, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, bridal showers, and you're still seeing each other guaranteed every few months. What's really an insane time is when all of that comes to a slow down and then eventually stop. At least for a little while, until the next wave of people get engaged and married. And you have this time where people are buying houses. Maybe they're staying where you're at. Maybe they're moving on to other things, moving for jobs. Maybe they are having kids, so they're like moving to the suburbs. It's just really a bittersweet time because it's time to grow up, and when you're going to all the wedding events and doing all the fun things, it doesn't really feel like you're that grown up because it kind of just feels like you're still in your young 20s and partying. And as soon as you hit this stage, life gets so real and you start making decisions for yourself, for your future family, for you and your husband or your wife. Really cute, Never Grow Up by Taylor Swift. I do not want to grow up, but it is happening full force and we cannot stop it.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Maturing as an adult is finally understanding why your mom was always announcing that she had to go lay down for a little bit.
At what point does one become an adult? And no, I'm not referring to like the legal age of 18 when you're allowed to sign documents and be on your own and like legally you're considered a consenting adult by that point, right? Like no, that's not what I'm referring to, because we all know that most 18-year-olds are still very much children. And even though technically they can sign for loans and buy a house and do all that fun stuff, most people still refer to those 18-year-olds as children, considering they can barely tie their shoes at that point. But what I'm referring to is feeling as though one is an adult. Because I am about to turn 33 on February 2nd, and I've been on my own since I'm 18. I have a full-time job, been having a full-time job. I make very good money. I have a 401k. I have an entire place to myself. I am married. I literally have a whole ass man. I got dogs. I paid off most of my student loans. I have my own car. Like I got shit. I possess shit. But when I take a look at my life at 32 and I compare it to like where our parents were when they were 32, my parents had 2 kids. They did 2 kids. They own a house. They had everything essentially that I have, except for the children, right? Like I don't have kids, but I just felt like when we were younger, looking up to somebody when they were 32, 33 years old, they had their shit together. And even though I feel like I have my shit together and I know I have my shit together, at the same time, I feel like everything's could fall apart at any point. And I still feel like whenever I get sick, I just want to call my mom. Whenever I have a really exciting life update, I just want to call my mom. And I don't remember one point when I was growing up, when my parents were around my age, I don't remember one time where my mom just called her parents to be like, hey, I'm sick. Or like, hey mom, would love to hang out. Like I feel like their relationships just weren't there. And I also feel like they just handled situations very differently, and they just were completely different humans. So when does that kick in? Because every birthday I feel a little bit older, but I don't feel like I am ever as old as my parents were back then. So when does it happen?
One thing I learned as I'm getting older is this. In order to have any type of long-term relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic, you got to learn to love people through all the different phases of themselves if you want to keep a long-lasting relationship. Now, I'm not saying to stick around through some terrible things. I'm saying you have to learn to grow with the people that are around you or adapt to the new changes that come with them evolving and things like that. Because like when you really think about it, it would be crazy for you to expect somebody to act exactly the same way that you met them. People grow, people evolve, go through different life experiences that cause them to be different. And it's kind of beautiful to be a part of somebody's life enough to see them progress and change. Love them through all of it. Anyways, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Toodles!
As for me, I have outgrown so many people in my life. Specifically in the past year and a half, I have had to cut out so many people from my life. About 6 to 8 people from my life. I have outgrown them. I have outpaced them in life. And our goals are not the same.
You want to know how you've reached your peak of adulthood or just momhood? Because this probably applies for moms. So a few weeks ago, my washing machine went out. And I do have a warranty on it, but the part that I ordered takes 3 months. It's back ordered. And in that time, I've been trying to figure out how the heck am I going to do laundry for my kids and for my husband. And a few days ago, the appliance store offered me an upgrade on a different washing machine, which is a washing machine that I've wanted for a long time. If you don't know what washing machine I'm talking about, it's a Speed Queen, and those things are badass. And I want one because it does laundry fast, and it's super efficient, and it comes with a warranty, and they last a long time. And I'm so tired of dealing with shitty washing machines that I'm so ready for a good one. So anyway, make a long story short, I go negotiate the deal at the appliance store, and as I'm leaving, I am passing a lady who is driving a brand new SUV, still has the temp tags on it. You can tell she is just living her best life, and I would be too. But as I'm passing her, in my head, I'm thinking, I just got a brand new washing machine, the washing machine I've wanted for years, and what is better than that? And then I realized I'm lame because that's what I'm excited about. That is what I'm excited about as a mom of 4 and a wife. I'm excited about a badass washing machine. I reached the peak of momhood. That's what it is. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can't tell me nothing today. The worst thing ever could happen, but I'm still getting an awesome washing machine. So I'm living my best life. I've reached the peak of momhood.
People complain about being an adult and how hard it is, but I honestly love it because you're allowed to do anything, okay? You're allowed to go where you want. You're allowed to sleep at what time you want to sleep. You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do. That's what I love about adulthood. I hate when I feel that somebody have a sense of control on me. And I hate that, and it drives me crazy. And that is absolutely what I love about being an adult, and especially being out of school. Because in school, you're very restricted, this and that and this. And also living at home too with your family, with your parents specifically. So you're being restricted. If you truly want to taste what adulthood is, move out of the house so you have that unlimited freedom, and also you understand what adulthood is. Move out.
I have only very recently begun to kind of feel like an adult, and I think it's because I'm starting to do things that I always thought of in my brain as something an adult would do as a kid. And even still now, there are things about adulting that I don't feel I have, but I aspire to have one day when I'm a real adult. So I made a list of a few of the things that come to mind. The first is that you have a signature airline that you fly. You are not just looking for the cheapest flight anymore. No, you have a signature airline and you're flying it every time. And you're racking up those points. The second is that you're not afraid to drink out of a mini bar at a hotel anymore. A charge of $10 to your room is not going to cause you to sweat. You mini bar it up. You have a fridge with a water and ice dispenser in the door. I will not feel like I've made it in life until I have this frickin' dispenser in my fridge. Additionally to that, you have a second fridge and it lives in your garage and it's for all your beer. I don't know why, but every adult I knew growing up had a second fridge and it was for beer and it lived in their garage. You have enough clothes that you can switch between summer and winter wardrobe. You do a seasonal switch, you put your sweaters away, you take out your tank tops. They're not just hanging in your closet year round like they are for me. You have jewelry that doesn't make your skin itch or turn your skin green. I'm not saying, you've got a Cartier bracelet or anything, but you've invested in a nice piece or two. You have a plant that produces something you can ingest. I'm thinking about things like a basil plant, You're like, oh, I'll just go to the window and get a little basil off of my plant to sprinkle on top of the pizza. If you have that, you have made it. You have pre-made address labels or like one of those little stamps because you're not moving every year. You're settled, you're an adult. You have one place where you live and you'll live there for a while so you can invest in those address labels. You have a newspaper or a magazine subscription because you are an adult, you care about the things that go on in the world. Maybe you scroll through WAPO every morning. Maybe you're getting a Better Homes and Gardens delivered to your door every month because you like that stuff. Finally, you've ordered a bottle of wine to split at a restaurant before. The first time I did this, it was big time. I've rarely done it since. But damn, does that make you feel like an adult. Oh yes, I'll just have a bottle of wine to split for the table. Uncork it in front of me. Let me sniff it. Some fancy adult shit right there.
It's crazy how life goes full circle. I'm sitting here waiting to go in for my kids' award ceremony, and they go to the same school that I used to go to when I was their age, and it's just full circle. I'm sitting in my car with my little get up on with my bag and my little Celsius, and I used to be like, oh, I can't wait till I get older. I can't wait. But I'm legit sitting here like, y'all, I'm grown. No takesies, backsies. Like, I'm looking at this little swing and slide set, and I'm like, take me back. But, like, not take me back, but, like, take me back. Like, there's no going back.
Hey, Salty Susan. Hey, real quick, I got something for you. Okay, so no response is a response. I am beyond the age and or tolerance for arguing with grown humans. And what I mean is, okay, you have your view of how this happened. I have my view. I've tried to express my view, to which you shut down continuously. Okay, then, no response is a response after that. Like, I'm just done. And if it continues, that's where the blocking and things come into play. But no response is the best response, because I've spent so much time arguing with a grown human. I just, silence. Bye.
No one thinks about it until it's their time, but there comes a day in everyone's lives where you look in the mirror and you realize that you are no longer a child. And I'm not talking about your 18th birthday when you are legally an adult. I'm talking about when you see yourself and you realize that you look mature. For me, it wasn't a natural realization. It was kind of forced upon me. At the age of 23, for the first time, I did not get carded when I was at a brewery. And honestly, I took it really personally because that had never happened to me before. So immediately my brain was like, do I not look young? Like, do I look old tonight? And I kind of festered over it for the whole night until finally, when I was about to leave, I asked the waiter, I was like, you've been great and everything. But also, what about me makes you think that I'm over 21? I have never seen the blood leave someone's face that quickly before. It did not occur to me that I was going to make him scared that he had just served a minor. I truly was just wondering, like, what about my appearance screams I'm of age? And so he started explaining. He was like, you just gave me the vibes of a 21-year-old. I could just tell based on vibes that you were of age. I was like, don't worry. I am. It's just like, are my wrinkles noticeable now? Is it because I bleach my hair now to look younger? Like, what is it? He didn't give me a good answer, and that's okay. I think he just didn't want to even risk upsetting me any more than he thought he had. I wasn't upset, but I think he thought I was. And I'm sure that he now cards 60-year-olds, so that's my positive change on the world. But now I have the opposite problem. When I do rarely get carded, I always think to myself, like, do I look like a child tonight? So there's no winning. You can hide your wrinkles as much as you want. You're never going to be perceived the way you want to in the world ever.
Do you ever realize as an adult that what you grew up watching or experienced was like not normal? You realize that it affected you as an adult, but you didn't realize that till you were an adult, and then you're like, fuck, I got a lot of work to do. I grew up in a household where I had good parents. They took care of us, they loved us and all that, but their relationship was so bad, so toxic, and not healthy at all. There was a lot of cheating, lying, screaming, fighting, throwing things, all that. Nothing so physically bad, but just everything else, like mentally just not okay. And I think it gave me a really bad definition of love. I think it gave me a bad understanding of like how to communicate with a person that you're in a relationship with, and like how to handle things. And it took me getting into a relationship with someone who was not as equally as toxic as me, if I'm being completely honest. Because in my brain, in my past relationships, I'm like, this is just how it goes. This is what my parents did, and like, this is normal. And it's not. I think when a toxic person like me exists, it's really easy to find someone who's equally toxic and you just think this is it, this is normal, but you attract what you are. I pulled back from being that toxic person and I got into a relationship, Justin, the person I'm in a relationship with now, and he also struggled with being toxic in other relationships, but he got therapy and he got work and he realized how wrong that was. So when I started dating him and I tried in the beginning, not tried, but I naturally became toxic about trying to communicate my feelings, it just would always come out toxic. He shut that shit down real quick and he's like, look, I know what you're doing and I used to do that too and I don't do this. And it really snapped me to reality and made me realize, like, I don't have to be in a relationship where I'm talking like my parents did to each other and we communicate really well with each other. I feel like I've grown so much in this relationship and Justin has taught me so much about like how to properly treat someone. It's like blowing my mind. And I still struggle with things and I know that I need to work on some stuff. Once you finally get into a relationship with someone who is not trying to be toxic, it will change your fucking world. I can guarantee it. Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to break it down for you all. There's one thing you need to figure out in this life to be considered an emotionally mature adult, a real life adult, okay? And that is whether or not you have figured out how to control the impulse to hurt people back when they have wronged you. If you have not figured out how to control that impulse to hurt back, to punish the person that hurt you, then you're not a fucking adult. You're still a little kid on the playground that doesn't understand when Timmy tripped and fell and then bumped into you that he didn't fucking mean to do that. If you have not figured out how to give the other person benefit of the doubt that they did not mean to hurt you, then you're not an emotionally mature adult. That impulse to hurt back when we have been hurt is something we learned as children. Someone treated you that way, and that is why you have that impulse to hurt back when you have been hurt. You need to recognize that that is emotional abuse. That whoever the fuck did that to you definitely wronged you. Some adults probably fucking failed you. But just because you've been treated that way your whole life does not make it okay to pass that abuse on to other fucking people. You cannot figure out how to control that impulse, then you do not deserve anyone else to consider your fucking feelings before theirs. It is a two-way street. You do not deserve anything that you are not also giving back to that person. You need to identify where you learned that behavior, that it was not okay, that you didn't deserve it, and that you want to be better than that and not pass that shit on to other humans. I'm a fucking Scorpio. I know how to cut people down and break their fucking soul if I wanted to. But I fucking don't because it's shitty. And if I can fucking control that impulse to not say the mean thing when someone hurts me, then you can fucking figure it out too. So you need to check your fucking entitlement and ask yourself, the consideration that you expect from other people, is that consideration you're also giving back? Because 9 times out of fucking 10, you're not. And it's really disappointing that 5, 10, 15 years down the road with relationships with family members and friends, that y'all haven't fucking figured that out yet. And as a person taking care of yourself, you do not owe anyone the patience to teach them and to wait around while they figure out how to do that. Because you don't know that they're ever going to figure that out. Life is too short to wait around to see if people are going to figure out how to not pass on abusive behavior. And you are not obligated to anyone for any fucking reason. Be it blood, be it years of friendship. You take care of you first. And get rid of the people who don't know how to bring their feelings to the table when they're hurt without attacking back. Because you cannot hold your breath that they're ever going to figure that out.
You see, you have this list of random icks that are keeping you from healthy relationships. Saying this as a person that's like overcoming this ick mentality. I've been in a relationship for a little over 4 years now. And I'm going to tell you, if I allowed every single ick to keep me from being in this relationship, we wouldn't have made it past 3 days. But I started dating my partner because I liked his character. And today he showed me why I chose him as my partner and why I continue to choose him as my partner. I have just not been feeling myself lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's seasonal depression. I don't know what's up. But I just have been really anxious and just not feeling my best about myself. So I said it out loud. I just said, you know what? I just do not feel really secure in myself today. Like, I just don't feel very great about myself. I don't feel like my outfit is coming together. I just don't feel good about myself. And he literally paused and said, you know what? That's okay, babe. We all have those days. I have those days. You can't always be Superwoman. And to be honest, I was so taken aback. Because yeah, I can't always be Superwoman. But he didn't try to solve it for me. He didn't try to tell me that my feelings were invalid and I shouldn't feel that way about myself. He allowed me to just experience what I was feeling. He related to me. I felt heard, I felt safe, I felt understood. And if that means I have to deal with the fact that this man sucks his teeth after he eats, that he always has his screen brightness up at the max brightness, that he randomly pops his ears like all the time, or the fact that he's an anal clean freak. I can deal with all of that because he's dealing with whatever those icks are about me. And he embraces me with all of my flaws. And he's my friend and holds space for me to be human. That's what we all deserve in a relationship. That's what we all deserve in a relationship. Somebody that gets us. So don't let icks keep you from love. Everybody's got an ick. You got icks. Icks for everybody.
So I'm sitting here thinking about life and how I'm literally about to turn 30 this year. And here are some of the things that I have realized as I have been maturing and growing. First one is that we are in this life alone. And what I mean by that is when you are going through a really hard time, a really dark time, in a very dark, low mental state, you are the only person that is going to get yourself out of that. No one is going to come save us. No one is going to come help us do the work. People may give you advice, people may teach you new skills, and people may give you tools to help. At the end of the day, you are the only one that is going to get yourself out of that place. Number 2 is people really don't give a fuck. Like, everyone is in their own world. Like, everyone has shit going on in their life that they are not over here thinking about what is going on in your life because they're thinking about what is going on in their life. And that for me was really hard to realize. But once you do, it's an amazing feeling, and I wish that for all of you.
Maturing is realizing that the people that were brushing their teeth at night and in the morning were right. I'm not afraid to admit that I was a one-time brusher. Like, I brushed my teeth in the morning. I'm extremely lazy, and it takes a lot of energy for me to do things like self-care and like just taking care of myself. Anything really. I'm just extremely lazy. But the other day I like brushed my teeth at night and I woke up and my mouth felt so fresh and I was like, wow, this feels kind of nice, you know? So I did it again and again, and like I'm actually in love with how cleaner my mouth feels when I brush my teeth at night versus not. So obviously it's something I'm going to keep doing. I'm not going to sit here and like say like, oh, you need to brush your teeth twice a day, every single day, because seriously, like I'm telling you, I'm the laziest human all these years. I really have been only doing it once a day, and I thought that was enough. I'm not going to shame anyone into doing it twice a day, but I'm just letting you know that it does feel so much better when you brush your teeth right before you go to bed.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.